So hello everyone, welcome back to this video lecture series of Python, especially for the data science and machine learning. And in this particular video we are going to deal with the more data structures, list, tuples and dictionary. So in the previous video we discussed about the strings and in detail about how string works and what are its functions. So if you haven't watched the previous video, please go and check that out. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the list, tuple and dictionaries. So we'll start from the very important data structure which is very helpful in Python, and that is list. So now let us discuss what exactly are lists. So just take a very simple example. Whenever you think of this word list, what comes to your mind? Certain collection of things? Yes. In the Python also, lists are same kind of entities. They are just separated by comma values and we denote them by using square brackets. How we denote them and how we separate them by commas, don't worry, I'll show you the examples. It will become crystal clear. But for the time being, just consider list as the collection of items as we use list in the real life scenario. So now let us just quickly go and look at one of the examples. So here you can see this list one that we are creating. It contains certain items. For example, physics, it's a string. Chemistry, it's a string. 1997, it's an integer. 2000 is an integer. So these are the collections of item which is being kept inside one square bracket, and that is why it is called list. Now let us discuss the four promising functions of the list. So the first thing that we do inside a list is assessing the list. How do we assess a list? So for example, you can see this list contained physics, chemistry, 1997 and 2000. If I want to just assess any one particular thing from this list, so from list 1, if I want to just visit this particular item physics, so I'll say list 0. I'll just print the list 0, so it will print physics. If I'll just say list 1, it will print chemistry, and list 2, so it will print 1997, and so on. Similarly for the list 2, if I'll just say this is the slicing of the list. I hope you have seen the previous video of strings where we have discussed the slicing. Similarly we can also slice the list, so it will start from 1 and it will go up to 5. So that means it will take list less than 5, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is simple way of assessing a list. After that, how can we update a list? So for example, if the value of this particular list is physics, chemistry, 1997 and 2000. Now if I want its index number 2, so that is 0, 1 and 2, that is 1997. This particular index, I want to replace this 1997 with 2001. What I can do, I'll just write list bracket 2 is equal to 2001. So it will replace 1997 with 2001. As simple as that. We can update it. How can we delete a list? We'll just write del and list at second number. So that means whatever at second. So suppose in this example only, if at second value the value or the element at the second position of this particular list is 2001, so it will delete this particular element. So the new list that will have is only physics, chemistry and 2000. I hope you are understanding this basic concept about assessing, updating and deletion of the list. In the end we have slicing of the list. Slicing of the list is very similar to the slicing of the strings. So if you have already seen that particular video, you will be easily able to understand. So list, the second position of this list is 1997. -2, so this is considered as -1. 2000 is -1, 1997 will be -2. First take the first and go up till the last. So physics is the 0th element, chemistry is the first element, and the last element is 2000. So this third one will give a output as chemistry, 1997 and 2000. So these are assessing, updating, deleting and slicing of the list. So after assessing, updating, deleting and slicing of the list, let us now look at some of the more examples, and for that we need to go to the Jupyter notebook. So now let us quickly move to our Jupyter notebook. So we'll start with some of the built-in functions that list contains. So the first built-in function that list is having is the length function. Now suppose if I'm having a list, lst list, my list contains 1 2 3 4 5. Now if I just want to know what's the length of this list, I'll just write len and I'll just write lst. It will give me the length of this list. So the length of this list is 5, as simple as that. After that, what is the maximum in that particular list? How will I know what is the maximum amount, what is the maximum in that particular list? So I'll just write max and I'll just say my list. So the maximum in my list is 5. Again, what is the minimum in my list? Minimum lst. So this is how we get to know the maximum and minimum in the list. Suppose if my list contains non-numerical value, suppose my list contains a string, so it will just count the length of that particular string, and whatever length is maximum, it will give you output of that particular maximum and minimum according to the length of that particular string. After this, let's try to know some of the additional functions that list contains. For example, the first function is append. So right now our list 1 contains C++, Java and Python. Supposingly I want to add C# in this particular list. What I can do, I can just write list1 dot append and C# and it will append C# in this particular list. You can see the output contains C#. After this we have count function. The count function counts the list. So for example, my list contains this number of elements. If I just want to count it, so just look at this. The count for 1 2 3 is 2, right? And the count for Zara, the number of times Zara has written, is 1. How many times 1 2 3 is there? 2 times. How many times Zara is there? 1 time. So count help us in counting of that particular string or that particular thing that we have inside a list. After count we have extend. Now what exactly this list extend function does is that, suppose if I am having a list 1 and if I am having list 2 that contains range of 5, that means it will have numbers like 0 1 2 3 4. Now I just want to add this list 2 after this list 1, or extend this list 2 after list 1. What I'll do, I'll just write list1 dot extend list 2. So it will extend the list 2 after list 1, as you can see here very clearly. After extend we have index. So in the index of the particular list, so for example you can see in this index, in this particular print function, we just want to see the index of chemistry. So if we just try to guess it, it should be 0 1. The index of chemistry should be 1, and if we'll just see the output, the index of chemistry is 1. So if you want to know the index, we'll use this particular index function. So after index function we have insert function, in which we need to decide where exactly we want to insert any elements in a list. So for example, if I want to insert biology at the index 1, so index 0 is physics, index 1 would be biology. After physics, biology should come. So this is how we just try to use this insert function. So you can see after physics, biology is inserted. After insert functions we have pop function. This pop function is basically used for popping out one element from the list. So for example, you can see we just want to pop out list from list. We just want to pop out one element that is at index 1, so that is biology. So we just want to pop out the biology. You can see after this particular function, biology is removed from this particular list. After pop, we have remove function. This remove functions more or less acts as a pop function only, but in pop function we take out the elements with the help of the index, but by the use of remove function we take out the element with the use of their names. So for example, if we want to remove biology, we'll write biology here. If you want to remove maths, we'll write maths here. So you can see the output after this particular functions, biology and math are removed. Now the next function is reverse. So the reverse function is very simple. So whatever elements that we have in the list, it will just reverse its sequence. So for example, it will give output as maths, after that chemistry and biology and physics. So you can see the output here. The output will be reversed list, as simple as that. The last we have short, but remember, it's not the least. Short is very useful in Python programming language. So you can see we have elements like physics, biology, chemistry and maths. So what this short function will do, it will sort them according to the dictionaries. So dictionary wise sorting. So A will come first, B will next, and C, and then alphabetic wise it will sort this particular list. And if you have numeric values, it will sort them with the help of numerical factor. So 1 is shorter, 2 is bigger, 3 is bigger, something of that kind. So you can see biology comes first, then chemistry, and then maths and physics. So that's all about this particular function that we have inside list. So after knowing so much about list, now it's your responsibility, and now it's your turn to show something or to do something out of the knowledge that you have gained from this particular series or this particular video. Now here's the question for you. So you need to write a Python program to take a list of n elements from the user and store it in an array and reverse the array. So your input format will be more or less like this. You will first of all tell what is the number of lists that you are having. So number of my list is 6. You will take inputs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will take this kind of input, whatever number of input that you want to take, you will take that particular number of input, and the output should be 12, 1, 2, 7, 13, 6. That means just opposite of whatever string or whatever list that you are taking, your output should be reverse of that particular list. So this is a very simple question for you all, and of course the answer for this particular question will be provided in the link down below. You can just go to the link and you can find the solution for this particular question. But please do try to attempt it by yourself, and please do write your code in the comment below, and whosoever gives the right answer, I'll just heart their comment so that they would other people will know what the right answer is. So this is a very simple question that you all must try. Now let us go to the next part, that is the tuples. Now tuples are almost similar to list. The main difference between tuple and list is that tuples are immutable. That means we cannot change tuples. For example, in the list we could append the list, instead of 10 we could write 20 or 30, but in tuples, once a tuple is created, it cannot be changed. So this is this will become more clear if we see the example of tuples. So you can see instead of square brackets for tuples, we use this kind of brackets, and we create tuples like this, and you cannot change. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I just want to go to index 1, I just want to change this particular 2, and I just want to place 6 in instead of this 2, I cannot do that. So that is the characteristics of tuples. Otherwise, more or less functions and everything more or less will remain same as list. There would be certain changes that will be tuple specific, but more or less things will be similar to the list. Even after tuple, we are going to discuss the dictionaries also. In dictionaries also, more or less the basic structure will remain same as list. I have gone in depth about the list because that was the need of the hour, but for tuples and dictionary all we need to know about the basic know-how of what exactly tuples are and what exactly dictionaries are. So this is all about the tuples that you need to know. They are just like the list, the only difference is that they are immutable, that means you cannot change them. After that we come to dictionaries. Yes, so dictionaries are the data types in which its key is separated by this particular colons and the values are separated by commas, and we generally indicate them using this curly braces. Now it will become more clear the moment we'll see the examples of dictionaries. So you can see we are defining one dictionary as dict, which is equal to name. Name is an element, or name is a key whose value is Zara. Key and value. Age is a key whose value is 7. Class is a key whose value is first. Key and value. So this dictionary is a collection of keys and values and the relationship between the key and value. So for example, if I just want to print the dictionary name, so it will print the dictionary name of that particular element. So what is the element for the name? That is Zara, so it will print Zara. Similarly, if I just want to print age of that particular thing, so it will print the mapped function of that age, which is 7. Similarly, if I just want to print the class of that particular dictionary, it will print the first. This is how the dictionaries work, and to call the dictionaries we use square brackets. To remember this thing, to have or to build a dictionary we use curly braces, but whenever we call a dictionary we use square brackets. So that's all about the dictionaries that we have. After this we are done with the most desired thing that is required in Python, that is data structures. We are done with the list. We went in details about the list. After that we are done with the tuples. We just came to know a bit somehow about what exactly tuples are, and we also came to know about what exactly dictionaries are. Don't worry, in future lessons we will try to cover things related to tuples and dictionaries in depth, but for this video this is all about that you need to know. And if you want a copy or PDF of this particular file, you can also find that from the down link below. Please do comment how you felt about this particular video, and your feedbacks are very valuable to all of us. That's all from my side. Thank you so much for giving your precious time.